On his voyage, he meets the water genie, If, who tells him that his father's storytelling gift can be restored by the walrus found in the Gup city, Kahani. They are then carried to the Sea of Stories by an artificial intelligence in the form of Hoopoe, nicknamed Butt. In the Kahani stories, by an artificial intelligence in the form of Hoopoe, nicknamed Butt. In the Kahani land, Gup and Chup act as foils for each other. Gup is warm, friendly, and talkative, while Chup is a place of ice, fear, and silence. In the Sea of Stories, Haroun learns the sea is endangered by the antagonist Khatam Shud, who represents the end.
Water genie, Gup and Chup army? Wow, so interesting.
Please wait, Sahana, there is more. In the kingdom of Gup, King Chatterjee, Prince Bolo, General Keta, and the warriors announced their plans for war against the neighboring kingdom of Chup to recapture Bolo's betrothed princess Bachit and to stop the pollution of the Sea of Stories. Rashid joins them here in the endeavor to save the princess. Thereafter, Haroun and his companions join the Guppy army of pages toward Chup, where they befriend Mudra, Khatam Shud's former second in command. In the events that follow, the Guppy army destroys the Chupwala's army and releases Princess Bachit, whereupon Khatam Shud himself is crushed beneath his collapsing statue commissioned by himself. Thereafter, the walrus promises Haroun a happy ending of his own story.
Wait, will you tell them everything?
Oh, sorry. Set in an exotic eastern landscape, the story will capture your attention and stimulate your imagination to the fullest. So sit back and enjoy the show as we seamlessly transport you to Haroun's voyage and tell you a tale of bright optimism, bravery, and courage. We also hope that you will assist us in this by putting your phones on silent mode. Thank you.
Once in the country of Elephant, a sad city that had forgotten its name.
There stood mighty factories where sadness was manufactured, packaged and sent all over the world, which never seemed to get enough of it.
Black smoke poured out of the chimneys of the sadness factories.
And in the depths of the cities, beyond the old zone of ruined buildings that looked like broken hearts, there lived a young cheerful fellow by the name of Haroun Khalifa, the only son of the famous storyteller Rashid Khalifa, whose cheerfulness was famous throughout the unhappy metropolis, and whose never-ending tales of short, tall, and winding stories had earned him not one, but two nicknames.
To his head miles, he was the Rashid, the ocean of notion. But to his jealous rival, he was the Shah of Blah.
To his wife Soraya, Rashid was for many years as loving a husband as anyone could wish for. And during these years, Haroun grew up in a home in which instead of misery and frowns, he had his father's ready laughter and his mother's sweet voice raised in a song.
But then, something went wrong. Soraya stopped singing in the middle of a line as if someone had thrown a switch.
Rashid Khalifa was so busy making up and telling his stories that he didn't notice.
But then, Rashid was a busy man, in constant demand. After all, he was the oceans of notions and the famous Shah of Blah.
Where do all these stories come from?
From the great story sea. Glug, glug, glug. I drink the story waters and feel full of steam.
Where do you keep this hot water?
It comes out of an invisible tap installed by one of the water genies.
I've never seen a water genie.
You've never been time to see the milkman, but you don't mind drinking the milk. You have to be a subscriber.
And how do you become a subscriber?
Oh, that's much too complicated to explain. Now kindly desist from this iffing and buffing and be happy with the stories you enjoy.
Why don't you have any more children?
We used up a full coat of child stuff just in making you. There's more to you than the blinking I can see.
We tried. This child business is not an easy thing. Think of the poor Senguptas. They have no children at all. And as a result, Onita Sengupta pays more attention to you.
That husband of yours, excuse me if I mention, he's got his head stuck high up in the air and his feet over the ground. What are all these stories? Life is not a storybook or a joke shop. All this fun won't come to any good. What's the point of stories that aren't even true?
What's the point of stories that aren't even true?
On the day that everything went wrong, Haroun was on his way of home from school when he was caught on the first downpour of the rainy season.
Miss Anita was standing on her upstairs balcony, and if it hadn't been raining, Haroun might have noticed that she was crying.
When Haroun entered his house, he saw Rashid the storyteller as if he had stuck his face out of the window because his eyes and his cheeks were soaking wet, although his clothes were dry. Haroun's mother Soraya had run away with Mr. Sengupta.
At 11 a.m. precisely, Soraya had sent Rashid into Haroun's room, telling him to search for some missing socks.
Bye.
Rashid heard the front door slam, and an instant later, a sound of a car in the lane.
Rashid came outside to saw his wife gone and the taxi speeding away around the corner. The clock still stood at exactly 11 o'clock.
Rashid picked up a hammer and smashed every clock in the house, including one on Haroun's bedside table.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
What did you break my clock for?
From this moment, Haroun found that he couldn't keep his mind on anything for very long, or to be precise, for more than 11 minutes at a time.
11 o'clock when his mother exited. Now comes the problem of 11 minutes. Cause the psychological sadness. The little master is stuck fast on his 11 number and cannot get to 12. That's not true.
Soraya had left a note.
You are only interested in enjoyment rather than work. But a proper man would know that life is a serious business. Your mind is full of make-believe, that's why there's no room for facts. Mr. Sengupta has no imagination at all. This is okay by me. Tell Haroun that I love him. But I can't help it. I have to do this now. What to do, son? Storytelling is the only thing I know.
What's the point of it? What's the point of stories that aren't even true? Almost election time, but it was well known that nobody ever believed what a politico said.
But everyone had complete faith in Rashid because he always admitted everything he told them was completely untrue. So the politicos needed Rashid to help them people's votes.
After a few days, Rashid was invited to perform politicos in the nearby town of G and the valley of K, which is nestled in the mountain of M.
We should go to the town of G and the valley of K. The weather's fine. whereas here the air is too weepy for words.
Tip-top plan. Yes, you would go. It will be like a little holiday and no need to worry about me sitting all by myself.
In the train station in the town of G, they were met by two unsmiling men.
They look like villains to me. Two men drove Rashid and Haroun straight to political rally.
Then the unthinkable happened. Rashid went in front of that vast crowd.
Haroun was from the wings.
The poor storyteller opened his mouth and
Found it empty as his heart.
The sharp blast sounded like a stupid crow. Boo! Boo!
How could you take the pride from the rivals?
We cut off your tongue.
I don't understand why. I promise I'll make it up to you. In the valley of care, be terrifico, magnific.
The better you are, or else comes out your tongue from your lying throat. So when does the plane leave for care?
Plane. His papa so he won't take off. And this brat wants to fly. No plane for you, mister. Catch a placid bus.
It was dark when the bus arrived at the bus depot care.
Esteemed Mr. Rashid, an honor for us. A legend comes to town. The name is Battu, Snooty Battu.
Almost the same as the bus driver.
Not at all the same as any bus driver. Suffering Moses, do you know to whom you speak? I'm the top man of the ruling party of the valley. Respected Mr. Rashid, to the lakeside.
Wow, a boat?
Nothing but the best for distinguished Mr. Rashid. Tonight, you stay in the finest houseboat on this lake as my guest. I trust it will not prove too humble for a grandee as exalted as you.
The lake seems to have strange currents, crisscrossing in delicate patterns. Don't be sad, Abu.
Sad? Unhappy? Surely eminent Mr. Rashid is not dissatisfied with the arrangements.
Sir, not so. This is an affair of the heart.
Not to worry, unique Mr. Rashid. She may have left you, but there are plenty more fish in the sea.
Ah, but you must go a long way to find an angel fish.
Who made that smell? Come on, admit.
It's the mist! It's the mist of misery!
Lenient Mr. Rashid, it seems the boy wants to cover up his tea making with inventions. I fear he is too much like the folk of this foolish valley, crazy to make believe. What I must put up with, my enemies hire cheap fellows to stop the people's ears with bad stories about me. And the ignorant people just lap it up like milk. For this reason, I have to be joking, Mr. Rashid. To you will tell happy stories, thrilling stories, and the people will believe you. Be happy and vote for me.
This is not the least lake. This lake is positively temperamental. This must be Moody Land.
The Moody Land was only a story, Haroun. Sure you don't want me to just tell sugar and spice tales? People can delight in the saddest stuff as long as they find it beautiful.
Nonsense! Terms of engagement are crystal clear. If you want pay, then just do as I say.
Okay, everybody listen. This is very important. Everybody, just stop talking. Not a bird. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Just do this one thing for me. Think of the happiest moments you can think of. Think of the view of Valley of Care. We crossed through a tunnel eye. Think of your wedding day, please. You see, it wasn't just a story after all.
You're a blinking good man in a tight spot, Haroun Khalifa. Hats off to you.
We are here.
The houseboat is called Arabian Nights +1
Because even in all the Arabian Nights, you will never have a night like this. Hello, right, Mr. Rashid. You in a line of work will be interested in this. Here for your delectation and edification is the entire collection of tales known as the oceans and streams of story. If you ever run out of material, you will find plenty in here.
Run out? What are you saying?
Touchy, Mr. Rashid. Of course, we have it to recite it to be with full confidence.
Thank you. It is very pleasant.
Very pleasant, inappropriate young person. You're about Arabian Nights +1. Very pleasant doesn't cover it all. Admit, at the very least, it is super marvelous, incredible, and wholly fantastic.
It is as Haroun stated, very pleasant indeed. Let us see how very pleasant your audience finds you.
Haroun, your room, Mr. Rashid. That night, Haroun found it difficult to get to sleep. He was disturbed by the noise from Rashid's room next door and goes to investigate.
It's no use. I won't be able to do it. I'm finished. Finished for good. I'll get up on stage and find nothing on mouth but arcs. Then they slice me up in pieces. Much better to stop fooling myself around and give it all up. Finito. Khatam shud. Because the match is gone. Gone forever. Ever since she left. Who's there?
It's me. I couldn't sleep. I think it's the daughter. It's just too weird.
I've been having trouble with the peacock myself. For me, a turtle would be better. How do you feel about the bird?
Okay.
Good night, Haroun.
Put it and take it out. The fellow comes up there. Have to come and install it. Rush job. Never mind my workload. Then bam bam. He cancels his subscription and just has to come back and take the equipment out. Right away. Pronto. You'd think there was a fire. But where did I put the blasted thing? Where's it gone? Ah! Enough! Party's over! Give it back! No! The disconnector! Hand it over! Return to sender! Restore to rightful owner! Give up! Yield! Surrender!
You're not getting it back until you tell me what you're doing here. Are you a burglar?
Mission impossible to divulge. Top secret. Classified. Eyes only info. Certainly not to be revealed to Smarty Pants boys wearing brown kurta pajama who snatch what isn't theirs and then accuse other people of being thieves.
I'll wake my father.
No, not us. I knew this would be a terrible day.
I'm waiting.
I am the water genie. If from the oceans or the streams of story.
You're really one of those water genies my father told me about?
Supplier of story water from the great story sea. The other bowl. Precisely the same. None other. It is I. However, I regret to report the gentleman no longer requires the service. Has discontinued narrative activities. Packed it in. He has cancelled his subscription. Hence my presence for purposes of disconnection. To which end, please to return my tool.
How did he send the message? I've been with him all this time.
By the usual means, a PDC2E.
What's that?
A process too complicated to explain.
You've made a mistake. My father has not given up. You can't cut off his story water.
Orders. All queries to be taken up with the Grand Comptroller. PDC2E House, Gup City, Kahani, the Walrus.
The walrus?
You don't concentrate, do you? At PDC2E House in Gup City, there are many brilliant persons employed. But there's only one Grand Comptroller. They are the eggheads. He is the Walrus. Got it now? Understood?
But how does the letter get there?
It doesn't. You see the beauty of the scheme?
Even without your story water, my father will still be able to tell stories.
Anyone can tell stories. Liars and cheats and crooks, for example. But for the stories with that extra ingredient, for those, even the best storytellers need the story waters. Storytelling needs fuel, just like a car. And if you don't have the water, you just run out of steam.
But why should I believe a word you say?
Take the disconnecting tool and tap it against this space. There she goes. The story tap. Voila!
But I still don't get it. Where is this ocean of yours? How does the water get into the invisible tap? How does the plumbing work? Don't tell me. I know why a process too complicated to explain. Mr. If, you must take me to the Gulf City to see the walrus so that I can get this stupid blunder about my father's story water reversed before it's too late.
Impossible! No can do. Access to Gulf City in Kahani by the shores of the oceans of the streams of story is strictly restricted, completely forbidden, 100% banned, except to accredited personnel, like for instance, me. But you, not a chance, not in a million years. No way, Jose. In that case, you'll have to go back without this. Okay, if you're going, let's go.
You mean now?
Now.
Alright then, now.
So pick a bird, any bird.
The only bird here is a painted peacock.
A person may choose what he cannot see. A person may mention a bird's name, even if the creature is not correct or present. Crow, quail, hummingbird, bulbul, manna, parrot, kite. A person may even select a flying creature of his own invention. Like, for example, winged horse, flying turtle, airborne whale, space serpent, arrow mouse. To give a thing a name, a label, a handle, to rescue it from anonymity, to pluck it out of the place of namelessness. In short, to identify it. Well, that's a way of bringing the said thing into being.
That may be true from where you're from, but in
These parts, I am having my time wasted by disconnected thief who will not trust in what he cannot see. How much have you seen a thieflet? Africa, have you seen it? No, then is it truly there? In the past, did it happen? In the future, will it come? Believe in your own eyes and you'll get into a lot of trouble. So, take a look, or I should say, a gander.
Tiny birds were walking on water genie's palm and pecking at it and flapping their miniature wings to just have about it. And as well as the birds were fabulous twin creatures out of legends. An Asian lion with a head of a beard man and a pair of large hairy wings coming out of its flakes. And a winged monkey, flying saucer, tiny angels and levitating fishes.
What's your pleasure? Select, choose.
the tiny crested one.
So, it's the hoopoe for us. Perhaps you know, disconnected thief, that in the old stories, the hoopoe is the boat that leads all other boats through many dangerous places with the ultimate goal. Well, who knows, young thieflet, who you may turn out to be. Voila!
Haroun saw Hoopoe floating on the dull lake, grown large as a double bed, easily large enough for water genie and the boy to ride upon its back.
No need to go up like that, young sir. I can't help it if I remind you of someone.
You can read my mind. How are you doing that?
By a P2C2E, a process too complicated to explain.
I give up. Do you have a name?
Whatever name you please. But, for obvious reasons, may I suggest but?
And off we go!
3, 2, 1.
No bird can fly so fast. Is this a machine?
You may have some problem to machines, but, you have entrusted your life to me. Then am I not worthy of a little of your respect?
The sun rose, and Haroun spotted something in the distance, a heavenly body, like a large asteroid.
That is Kahani, Earth's second moon.
But, surely the Earth has just one moon. How could a second satellite have remained undiscovered for so long?
But, it's because of speed. The moon Kahani travels so fast that no Earth instrument can detect it. Splash down in 10 seconds.
Rushing up towards them was a sparkling expanse of water.
9, 8.
And what water it was!
7, 6.
It shone with colors such as Haroun could never have imagined. It was warm and Haroun could see steam rising off it that glowed in the sunlight.
5, 4.
The oceans are the streams of story. Wasn't it worth traveling so far and fast to see?
3, 2, 1.
Splash down!
It's a trick. There's no God City here. Unless I'm very much mistaken. And no God City equals no B2C2E house. No walrus. No point in being here at all.
This is the deep north of Kahani. We are here in search of wish water. When your wish is granted, you can return my duel and home you go to bed. And end of saga. Okay?
Very well.
And hey presto! Wish water ahoy! The harder you wish, the better it works. So it's up to you.
Just one sip, and he could regain for his father the lost gift of Gab.
Down the hatch.
He began to focus his thoughts. He couldn't do it. If he tried to concentrate on his father's lost storytelling powers and cancelled story water subscription, then the image of his mother insisted on taking over, and he began to wish for her return instead.
Just do this one thing for me, my boy. Just this one little thing. Just do this one thing for me, my boy. Just this one little thing. Just do this one thing for me, my boy. Just this one little thing. Just do this one thing for me, my boy. Just this
11 minutes, and his concentration was kabam, kablooey, kaput.
But, this is disgraceful if wishes are not such easy things as you know well. You're upset because now we must go to Gup City and there'll be harsh words and hot water for you. You're removing it on the boy.
Gup City it is. Unless, of course, you like to hand over my disconnecting tool and just call the whole thing off.
But, you're still bullying the boy. Give the lad a happy story to drink.
So if the water genie told Haroun about the oceans of the streets of stories, and even though he had full sense of hopelessness and failure, the magic of the ocean began to have an effect on Haroun.
He looked into the water and saw that it was made of 1,000,000,001 different currents, each one a different color, weaving in and out of one another like a liquid tapestry full of breathtaking complexity, and each colored strand represented and contained a single tale.
As all stories ever told could be found here, the ocean of the streams of story was in fact the biggest library in the universe.
And because the stories were held in fluid form, they retained the ability to change, to become new versions of themselves, to join with other stories and so become yet other stories.
How unlike a library of books, the ocean of streams of stories isn't dead but alive.
And if you're very, very careful or very, very highly skilled, you can dip a cup into the ocean like so. And you can fill it with water from a single pure stream of story like so. And you can offer it to a young lad who's feeling blue so that he can restore his spirits. Go on now, knock it back.
Haroun found himself in a landscape that looked like a giant chessboard. In the middle was a stone tower with a captive princess.
Save me! Save me! Save me!
Midway up the tower, he started to turn into a spider.
Eeks, my dearest, you've turned into a large spider.
As a spider, he made rapid progress to the top of the tower. But when he reached to the window, the princess produced a large knife and chopped the limbs of the spider while chanting,
Get away, spider, go back home.
She chops him through one of his arms and he falls. When he opens his eyes, he finds himself in the back of Badda Hoopoo.
Haroun! It's pollution! Something or somebody has been putting filth into the ocean. And if filth gets into the stories, they go wrong. If there are traces of this filth up here in the deep north, things at Gup City must be close to crisis. This could mean war.
War with whom?
With the city of Chup on the dark side of Kahani, this looks like the doing of the leaders of the Chupwalas, the cult master of Bezaban.
And who's that?
He is the arch enemy of all stories, even of language itself. He is the prince of silence and foe of speech. His name is Khatam Shud. Quick, top speed ahead!
Thanks to the eggheads at P2C3 house, this looks like the doing of the leaders of... Thanks to the eggheads at P2C3 house, the rotation of the moon Kahani has been brought back under control. The city of Gup bathes in endless sunshine while over Chup it's always in the middle of night. Between the two lines, the Twilight State, where the Guppies long ago built a unbreakable and invisible wall of force. Its good name is Chatterjee's Wall, named after our king.
You're telling stories again.
Naturally, I'm telling stories.
What's that?
A floating gardener, naturally.
You mean a floating garden?
That's all you know.
Got a stranger with you. Very odd. Still, your own business.
How do you do?
Floating gardener, first class.
I'm Haroun, please. What does a floating gardener do?
Maintenance and twisted story streams. Weeding, in short, gardening.
What's this pollution? When did it start? How bad is it?
Lethal, started only recently, but the spread is very rapid. How bad? Very bad. Certain types of stories may take years to clean up, like popular romances have just become long lists of shopping expeditions. Children's stories also, for instance, have an outbreak of creatures with televisions in their stomachs.
Something very serious has occurred. All the units have been ordered back to base. Now if I had my disconnecting tool, I would have received the order myself.
Hurry, don't be late.
Ocean sailing cure can't wait. Those are plenty more fishes.
So there really are plenty more fish in the sea. This is all Snooty but Two said.
Plenty more fishes always go in twos. They are faithful partners for life. To express this perfect union, they always speak in rhyme.
All this bat is too much dirt.
Swimming in the ocean starts to hurt.
Call me Baga, this is Goopy.
Excuse our rudeness, we are feeling droopy.
Things are worse than we've ever known.
And the worst place is down in the old zone.
What's wrong?
The old zone is where the source of stories is located, from where the ancient stories flow. You know how people are? They want new things, always new. The old tales, nobody cares. But if the source itself is poisoned, what will happen to the ocean, to us all?
Hold on to hats. Hitting brakes now. Gup City dead ahead. No problem.
How many?
3, sir.
Keep it here. How many?
3, sir.
Keep it here. How many?
2, 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 sir.
Keep it here. How many?
1, sir.
Keep it here. How many?
1, sir.
Keep it here. There are still many stories and books left to restore. Keep working.
Those are the famous pages of GUP, that is to say, the army. Ordinary armies are made up of platoons and regiments, and such like our armies are organized into chapters and volumes. Each volume is headed by a front or a title, and up there is the leader of the entire library, which is our name for the army, General Kitab himself, and that is Prince Bolo, the fiancée of King Chatterjee's only child, his daughter Princess Bachi.
They have seized her! My Bachi, my princess! The servants of cult master, purloined the summer was back. Cheers, dastards, wordlets, hounds, by the gum they will pay for this.
Her whereabouts are not known, but most probably she'll be kept prisoner at the citadel of Chup, the ice castle of Khatamshud in Chup City, at the heart of perpetual night. We have sent messages to Cult Master Khatamshud. These messages concern both the wild poison being injected into the ocean of streams of Sori and the abduction of Princess Bachi. We demanded that he put a stop to the pollution and also return within 7 hours the kidnapped lady. Neither demand has been met. I have to inform you. Therefore, a state of war now exists between lands of Gup and Chup.
Extreme urgency is of the essence. The poisons that are spreading so rapidly will destroy the entire ocean if steps are not taken.
Well, now it's war young thief-led. That means nobody at P2C2E house will have any time for your little request. You may as well hand back the disconnecting tool. Then what do you say? I'll have you taken home for nothing, completely free. There, what could be fairer than that?
The world is not disconnected, that's flat.
The Guppy patrols in the outlying areas of the Twilight Strip have arrested a highly suspicious person.
Leave me! Leave me! I've not done anything!
Sit down.
you're the most unexpected of all boys.
He's not a spy. He's my father. And the only thing wrong with him is that he's lost the gift of the gab.
That's right. Go on, tell everyone. Broadcast is to the whole world.
What do the guppies do to the spies? Rip out their fingernails one by one until they don't confess? Kill them slowly and painfully?
I don't know. We have never caught a spy before. Maybe we should scold him or make him stand in a corner or make him like, I must not spy for 1001 times.
How arrived in Cup, you must be wondering. It's a certain variety procedures, certain foodstuff, properly prepared would induce sleep, but also carry a sleeper whenever he may wish for. With sufficient skills, a person may choose to travel where his dreams take to. I chose to travel Cup, but owing a slight directional miscalculation, I woke up in the Twilight Strip. In the Twilight Strip, I've seen bad things and heard even worse. There's an encampment of the Chupwala's army. Such black tents, wrapped with such fantasy silence. In the old days, the cult master Khatam perched, hated only towards fancies, dreams and stories. But now he opposes any speech for reason. The land of Chup has fallen under the mystery of Deshpande, a cult whose followers was lifelong silent. A Deshpande is a gigantic idol of the heart of Khatamshut's citadel carved out of black ice. It has no tongue but grins frightfully. Its teeth are as big as the size of houses. Why shall I wait near the Ofri camp? I went near the distant light on the horizon and came to the Chatterjee's wall. Sirs, it is in bad repair. There are many holes and movement through it is easily achieved. The Chuppalas know this. I saw them. I witnessed the capturing of Pachit with my own eyes.
I was too shocked. Truly, we are grateful for your news.
There's one more thing. As they hurled the princess away, I heard them say, the great feast of Deshpande is coming soon. Why not gift her idol, this guppy princess, as a sacrifice? We'll stitch up her lips and rename her the dumb princess, Princess Khamosh.
No, there's not a second to lose. Assemble all the armed force, every page, every chapter, every volume. To war for Baatcheet.
For Baatcheet and the ocean.
Yes. The ocean also naturally, of course, very well.
If you wish, I could lead you to the way to the Chukpala's tents.
Good man, I did you wrong. You're a champion.
If you're going, don't you think you could leave me alone?
Could I please find my son for the night, bed for the night, please?
Grab him out. I'm not sleepy. Really, I'm not.
If my fiancée got herself kidnapped because she was crazy enough to go into the Twilight strip just to go gooey the stars in the sky, even worse, strikes a stupid ball for goodness sake. Then, don't imagine, I'd sort of want to get up at. I'd say, good riddance, especially with her nose, her teeth, but don't need to get into all of that. And I haven't even mentioned the singing. You won't imagine how horrible. Instead of letting her rot, we are going after her and probably getting ourselves killed because we won't be able to see properly in the dark.
I'll be getting to my bedroom very soon because I don't know how much of more of this I can take.
And these uniforms? Have you read this?
Bolo and the Golden Fleece?
Whose idea do you think it was? Hers obviously Baatcheet's. She has all the world's greatest stories rewritten as if Bolo were a hero or something. And we have to walk around wearing them. As if Bolo and the 40 Thieves, Bolo and Wonderful Lamp, Bolo and Juliet, Bolo in Wonderland.
We are lost, aren't we?
So, we're a little lost, but aren't we having a nice chat? What did you do that for? Let's quit everything!
You're a girl?
Shh! You think it's easy for a girl to get a job like this? Don't you know girls have to fool people every day of their lives if they want to get anywhere?
You mean just because you're a girl, you're not allowed to be a page?
I suppose you only do what you're told to. I suppose you eat up all the food on your plate, even the cauliflower.
At least I could do something perfectly simple like showing someone where their bedroom is.
I suppose you always go to bed when you're told to. And you wouldn't be at all interested to go to the secret passageway right there.
Haroun sat on the flat roof of the palace in what was of course still dazzling sunshine and gazed out at the view of the land of God. The gigantic formal gardens with fountains and domes and ancient spreading trees which swept right down into terraces to the water's edge. The lagoon, a beautiful expanse of multicolored waters in which a great flotilla of mechanical birds was assembling, and out across the endangered oceans of the streams of story.
Rise and shine! Stop! If you tell anyone about me next time, I won't stop.
I won't tell, I promise.
You're okay, Haroun Khalifa. By the way, I took the liberty of returning the disconnector you stole.
What? I thought you were my friend.
Your father's by himself now. He can sort out his own problems.
You don't get it. I wanted to do it for him.
Time to report for duty.
an ocean.
What's the matter to save the ocean?
It's a wild goose chase after Bachi.
Yes, and it looks like a wild goose too. That's the plan to set in motion.
Find the source of poison potion.
How dare you? That's a beloved princess you're talking about. Our estimable Prince Bolo's intended and beauteous bride.
Beauteous, have you forgotten that voice, that nose, those teeth? What an army! If any soldiers acted like that on earth, they'd be court-martialed. Quick, as thinking. But, what's the point of giving person freedom of speech if you then say they must not utilize the same? And is not power of speech the greatest power of all? Then shouldn't it be exercised to the full? How can Bolo be so certain when every other guppy seems to make forever to make their minds about anything?
It is love, which is a wonderful and dashing matter, but can also be a very foolish thing sometimes.
Light fell slowly, then more quickly. They were in the twilight strip. The closer they came to the source of the land of Chup, the more formidable the prospect of the Chupwala army became. On those twilight stores, no bird sang, no wind blew, no voice spoke. Feet falling on shingle made no sound, as if the pebbles were coated with some unknown muffling material. The air smelled stale and stenchy. All was stillness and cold. Silence and darkness seemed contented to bide their time.
Look! The man is fighting against his own shadow. The shadow plane is fighting his shadow back. The shadow plainly possesses a will of its own.
Go, Kafka.
What's this fellow saying? Can't make out a single word.
If the people in land of Chup hardly talk these days because of the cult master's decreases, then it's not surprising that this warrior has temporarily lost control of his voice.
Really? Why people can't speak properly? It beats me.
Murder spoke of in New Year.
So, it's murder he plans. Well, it won't be all his own way. I promise him that.
Bolo, dash it all. Will you be quiet? He's trying to tell us something.
Murder spoke of in New Year.
I've got it. What a fool I am. He's been talking to us fluently. What he said was in murder, but mudra. That's his name. Mudra. Speak Abhinaya. Abhinaya is an Asian gesture of language. Of all. This is what happens. Hang on. One at a time, please. Nothing to worry about. Mudra is a friend. Also, this is Lucky, the champion warrior of Chup. Second in authority, Khadamshud himself.
We really are in love. Let's seize him and put him in chains. And tell Cult Master, we'll only release him if we get Bachi back safe and sound.
And how do you propose to capture him?
Please listen. Mudra has been discussed with growing fantasy and cruelty of cult Bezapan and has broke off relations with Khatamshut. I'll interpret his Abhinaya for you.
Don't think all the Chupwalas follow Khatamshud or worship Bezaban. Mostly they're simply terrified. If he were defeated, most of the people in Chup would turn out to me. My shadow and I are both in favor of peace. In Chup, shadows are considered equals as a person whom they are joined to. They learn to change by simply wishing to do so. A shadow very often has a stronger personality than the person. And of course, there can be quarrels. They can pull in opposite directions. Among the shadows, Cult Master Khatamshud has made terrible trouble.
He has become like a shadow and his shadow more like a person. It goes wherever it wishes to. So Khatamshud is in two places at once.
But that's the worst news in the world. It was almost impossible to defeat him once. And now you tell us we have to beat him up twice.
Precisely so.
Why should we believe this creature? How do we know this isn't any sort of trap?
Your Highness, I am in command here. Hold your tongue or you will be back on your way to Gup City. And someone else will have to rescue your Bachit on your behalf. And you wouldn't like that. Spots and fogs, you wouldn't. Will you help us? It isn't going to be easy in the darkness of Chup. We could do with a fellow like you. What do you say?
Yes, I will. The cult master must be defeated. But there's a decision you must make. I know what it is. It is the same one that should have been done before we even set out. Whom do we save first? Bachit or the ocean? By the way, isn't he something? Isn't he awesome, sharp, Mudra I know who you mean.
He's okay, I suppose.
Okay? Only okay? Khatamshut is in two places at once. One has Princess Bati captured in the citadel, planning to sue her palace. Second, in the old zone, plotting the ruinations of the ocean of the stream of the stories.
A person must come before the ocean, no matter how great the peril to both. What are you people? Have you no blood in your veins? General, you too, Sir Mudra. Are you men or shadows?
There's no need to insult the shadows any further. Not at all, very well. But we must send someone to investigate the old zone situation. Let me see.
I'll go.
What's that to say?
Why did you volunteer for this dangerous job?
All my life, I've heard about the wonderful sea of stories, water genies, and everything. But I didn't really believe on them until I saw If in my bathroom the other night. Now that I've actually come to Kahani and seen with my own eyes how beautiful the ocean, plenty more fishes, and floating gardens are, it turns out I may be too late because the ocean's gonna die in any minute. And if we don't do anything, it turns out all the stories in the world will go wrong and wrong forever or die. So, I might not be too late to do my little bit.
It's more to young Haroun Khalifa than it meets the blinking eye.
General, I ask you, is this not the perfect fellow for the job? For me, he is like a slave to love. And just as my great passion, my armor, which leads me towards Batshit, always towards Batshit. And this was destiny, is to rescue what he loves. That is the ocean of the stories.
Very well, young Master Haroun. You will be our spy. Take your pick of companions and be gone. We're going the right way, we can tell.
First it was filthy, now it's hell.
Doesn't the poison hurt your feet?
Take more on that. A little poison, bah. A little acid, bah. A gardener is a tough old bird. It won't stop me. You can stop a check, you can stop a leak or three, you can stop traffic, but you can't stop me.
What we are here to do is stop the work of the cult master, Khatamshut.
If it's true that there is a wellspring or source of stories near the South Pole, then that's where Khatamshut will be. You can be sure of it.
Then to the South Pole we go.
I'm feeling terrible, she's feeling worse.
We can hardly speak it worse. Whatever's doing this can't be far ahead. You'll keep watch and we will go without you.
Bye, Haroun.
Look at the ocean, the oldest stories ever made. Look at them now. We let them rot. We abandoned them long before this poisoning. Boring, we said. Surplus to requirements. And now look, just look. No color, no life, nothing. Spoiled.
Surely, there's no land meant to be here.
Neglected waters is what it is. Nobody to keep the place in trim. It's a disgrace. Bit of weeding, bit of pest control, and we'll have a channel ready in no time.
Mali, where have you got to?
It is a web of night, a legendary Chupwala weapon. The more you fight, the harder it grips. To Khatamshut we go, or neatly wrapped it tied up. Like a present, it's finite for us all.
Honestly, Hubu, pull yourself together.
How to pull myself? Together or anywhere else? When other persons, Chupwala persons, are pulling me wherever they desire.
Look, that's where they'll be taking us. It must be the flagship of Khatamshut. Chupwalas have invented artificial darkness while we have invented artificial light.
But, you must not take it. No, you can't. It's my brain. Powering off.
Haroun, a little emergency something. Courtesy of P2C2E house. Maybe you'll get a chance to use it.
What is it?
Bite the end of it and it gives you 2 full minutes of bright light. So it's called Bite a Light for obvious reasons. Hide it under your tongue.
Oh, you were the best and bravest machines there ever was. I'll get your brain back for you. Just see if I don't. I promise. This is Sadness Factory ship. And what it makes is way worse than the Sadness Factories back home.
Spice! What a Tyson melodrama! What a genie from Cup City! Something more unusual. A young fellow, if I'm not mistaken, from down there.
So much for your silence nonsense. Isn't it typical? Wouldn't you have known? His followers sew up their lips and he talks and talks like Billy O.
Now we shall see. The process too complicated to explain. Once this is taken apart, I shall explain those processes. Never fear.
I know you. I have met you somewhere before.
What brought you here? Stories, I suppose. And look where stories have landed you now. You'd done better to stick to facts. Answer me this. What is the use of stories that aren't even true?
I know you. You're Mr. Sen Gupta. You stole my mother's Onita behind. You're a mingy, stingy, measly, weasley cloak. Where are you hiding her? Maybe she's a prisoner on the ship. Come on, hand her over.
Haroun, it's not the same guy. Maybe he looks the same, but believe me, this is the cult master of Deshpande, Khatam Shud.
Stories have warped the boy's brain. Why would I have the slightest interest in your mother? Stories have made you incapable of seeing who stands before you. Stories have made you believe that a personage such as cult master Khatam Shud ought to look like this. Showing off. Well, you must see what you have come to see. Though, obviously, you'll not be able to make your report. Bring them.
Below decks, the dark ship is full of machinery. And what machines they are? Far too complicated to describe. What a whizzing of whizzers and stirring of stirrers. What ranks of lifters and banks of sifters. What fuming of freezers and screwing of squeezers is there.
These are the poison blenders. We must make many of them to ruin each and every story in the ocean in a different way. To ruin a happy story, you must make it sad. To ruin an action drama, you must make it move too slowly. To ruin a mystery, you must make the criminal's identity too obvious, even to the stupid audience.
I have personally discovered each story has an anti-story. And if you pour that anti-story into the story, the two cancel out each other. And bingo, end of story. Each day, we synthesize and release new poisons. Each day, we murder new tales. Soon, the ocean will be dead, cold and dead. When black ice freezes over its surface, my victory will be complete.
But why do you hate stories so much?
The world, however, is not fun. The world is for controlling.
What world?
Your world, my worlds, all the worlds. They are to be ruled inside every single story, inside every single stream in the ocean. There lies a world, a story world that I cannot rule. That is the reason why.
Look at the edges of the ship. They're so fuzzy. Even when they're sharp, they're never as sharp as real substantial things. The cult master is sent to shadow here and remains in the citadel of Chup.
Now this is where we are building the plug.
What plug? You can't mean...
You will have seen the giant crane upon the deck. You would have noted the chains going down into the waters. At the other end of those chains, Chupala drivers are rapidly assembling their largest and efficient plug ever constructed. We are going to plug the wellspring itself, the source of stories, which lies directly beneath the ship on the ocean bed. As long as the source remains unplugged, fresh and poison-renewing story waters will pour upwards into the ocean. But when it's plugged, what will be there for you groupies to do but accept the victory of Bezaban?
How do you divers enter the poison-filled waters?
Here in this cupboard are a number of poison-proof suits. And this is a generator. Intruder! Alert!
You can chop a flower, but you can chop a tree. You can chop liver, but you can't chop meat. You can chop in cheese, you can chop like a karate. You can chop suey, but you can't chop meat. And Kaya stop stirring and Bara stop
Haroun! Use knife for this!
And Bender stop bending, squeezers stop squeezing, and freezers stop freezing. Chupara guys, now attack Mali.
The deeper Haroun went, the less filthy story of stream was, and it was easier to see. He saw the plug and the wonders of wonder. He caught a sight of source itself, the source of story, a hole in a seabed. Through the hole, a glowing flow of pure and polluted stories came bubbling up from the very heart of Kahani.
Now I get it. That if I stop the source from being plugged, the renewed streams of stories will cleanse out the polluted ones, and eventually everything will be back to normal. How I wish there was something I could do. I'm pretty sure Butter Hoopo's brain box in the other pocket.
Then he remembered that there was something in that pocket, and in a flash he knew that there was something he could do.
Here goes.
You must sing a down, and you must call him a down.
I've sent it. Insane.
Look, a mouse. This piece of toasted cheese will do it.
Oh, honestly, Hoopu, be quiet, please.
Powering on. So what took you so long? All fixed up now. Let's go. Vroom.
Hold your horses, Hoopu. We still have some things to do. Wish water. The harder you wish, the better it works. I'm going to do it, Hoopu. I'm going to do it. I wish this moon Kahani to turn so that it's no longer half in moonlight and half in sunlight. I wish it to turn this very instant into a hot noonday sun.
That's some wish. This will be pretty interesting.
Oh no! What do you know? I actually managed to do it.
Never doubted you for a moment.
Look at what's happening to the ship. Mali. Come on, Hoopu. Full speed ahead.
With a strange sucking sound, the dark ship of the cult master Khatamchud finally melted right away.
Look at the plug. Incomplete as it is, has fallen harmlessly down onto the ocean bed, leaving the ocean of stories completely unblocked up. And now fresh story waters will keep on coming out of it. And eventually, the oldest stories will taste as good as new.
He's blown a fuse.
Oh no, not again.
I must quickly tell you about everything that had happened while Haroun was in the old zone.
Princess Bachi Chatterjee, you will remember, was being held in the prison of the topmost room of the citadel of Chup.
Chup city was in the deep heart of the perpetual darkness, and the air was so cold that it would freeze into icicles on people's noses and would hang on there until it was broken off.
For that reason, the Chupwalas who lived there wore little nose warmers which gave them the look of circus clowns, except that the nose warmers were black.
Red nose warmers were being introduced to the pages of Gum as they marched into darkness.
Really, this is beginning to look like a war between buffoons.
The Guppy commander sat down to a light pre-battle dinner, while a Chupwala ambassador rode up carrying a white flag of truce.
Well, Chupwala, what's your business?
The High Court Master Khatamshud has granted me special release from my vows of silence. He sends you greetings and informs you that you are trespassing the sacred soil of Chup. He will neither negotiate with you nor give up your spying, nosy packer of Bachit. And oh, she is noisy too. She torments our ears with her songs, and as for her nose, her teeth.
There's no need to get into that. We aren't interested in your opinions.
Unless you retreat at once, your invasion will be punished by annihilation. However, before you must utter defeat, I am commanded to entertain you for a moment. I am, if I may immodestly say, the finest juggler in the city of Chup, and I am ordered to juggle for your delight.
Don't trust her, it's a trick!
Silence, page! The rules of chivalry demand our acceptance.
Will you, for Pete's sake? I told you it was a trick!
What's this blabbermouth? Are you a girl? You're fired!
Bolo, hang it all.
Oh no, I'm not Mister, I quit!
We must not quarrel when the battle is about to begin. If Prince Bolo has no further need of so courageous a page, then perhaps Miss Blabbermouth would care to work for me.
Rashid Khalifa, watching the action from Guppy Command Hill, was very much afraid that the pages of Gup would be beaten badly, torn up, or perhaps burned.
The guppies were still busily arguing over every little detail.
But then the chupwalas weren't able to resist the guppies. All the debates and arguments, all the openness had created powerful bonds of fellowship between them.
The chupwalas, on the other hand, turned out to be a disunited rabble.
Their habits of secrecy had made them suspicious and distrustful of one another.
They did not stand shoulder to shoulder, but betrayed one another, stabbed one another in the back, mutinied, hid, deserted, and after the shortest clash imaginable, simply threw down their weapons and ran away.
The sun was rising over the Chup city, over the citadel of Chup.
It was rising rapidly and went on rising until it was overhead, blazing with the full fury of its flame.
And there it stayed. The dark, the black eyes of the dark fortress received sunlight like a mortal wound. The locks on the citadel gates melted away.
Polo ran with Mudra up flight of stairs and through courtyards, while all around them, pillars of Khatam began to buckle and bend.
Bachit! 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 Bolo! Bachit!
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over sideways and under, on a magic carpet ride. A whole new world, a whole new world, a whole new world, a whole new world. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over sideways and under, on a magic carpet ride. A whole new world, a whole new world, a whole new world, a whole new world.
The shadowless towers of Kalpamaster, the union of the ships were running blindly, heed and yon, smashing into walls, knocking one another out as they collided, and shrinking dreadfully. All hours of silence was forgotten in their fear.
And at last, Bachit was seen with her nose, her teeth, but there's no need to get into all of that. High above them, at the very apex of the citadel, gigantic, tongueless, many-toothed Bezaban began to totter and shake. And then, drunkenly,
Look, it's the cult master, Khadamshud, running for his life.
A skinny, scrawny, sniveling, dribbling, mingy, stinky, messily, wessily, clerky, a sort of fellow who had no shadow but seemed as a shadow as a man.
He heard Rashid's cry too late, whirled around with a fiendish yell, and saw the huge head of the colossus of Bezaban as it arrived, and hit him squarely on the nose.
not a shred of him was to be ever seen again.
No! 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 No!
Peace broke out.
The new government of Land of Chup, headed by Mudra, announced its desire for long and lasting peace with God. A peace where day and night, speech and silence would no longer be separated into zones by twilight stripes of walls of force.
Mudra invited Miss Blabbermouth to come stay with him, to act as go for the guppy authorities at those of Chup, and Blabbermouth
gladly accepted.
Haroun was reunited with his father and was given back his story water facilities and was awarded Landup's highest decoration in the Order of the Open Mouth in the recognition of the exceptional services during the war.
If was named Chief Water Genie.
But the hooper was quickly restored to his normal self just as soon as the guppy service station fitted him with a spare brain.
And Princess Bachi, on the day of her wedding to Prince Bolo, both of them looked so happy and so much in love. Everybody decided to forget how idiotic Bachi was to get captured in the first place and of Prince Bolo's many pieces of foolish behavior with the war that followed.
A great victory has been won for the ocean over its enemy. A victory for the new friendship and openness between the Gup and Chup. A dialogue has been opened to celebrate that as well as this wedding. Let all the people sing.
Bachi kept their mouth shut and everyone was happy as could be.
Oi, Haroun! You are to present yourself at once at C2C2E house. The walrus wants to talk to the person who destroyed so much irreplaceable machinery.
But it was in a good cause.
I don't know about that.
Processes too complicated to explain. I am the walrus, Esquire. Knock and wait.
Ma'am, come in. Sit down.
Am I in trouble or not?
You must forgive us. We were just pulling your leg. Just a little yoke. Get it, little yoke?
Huh? What's all this about?
Mr. Haroun Khalifa, to honor you for the incalculable service you have done to the people of Kahani and to the ocean of the streams of story, we grant you the right to ask us for any favor you desire, and we promise to grant it if we possibly can, even if it means inventing a brand new process too complicated to explain. Well, what's it? What's the matter?
Well, it's no use asking for anything because what I really want is something nobody here can give me.
Nonsense. I know perfectly well what you want. You've been on a great adventure, and at the end of great adventures, everybody wants the same thing.
What's that?
A happy ending. Happy endings are much rarer in stories and also in life than most people think. Because they are so rare, we at P2C2E House have learned to synthesize them artificially. In plain language, we can make them up.
That's impossible. They aren't things you can put in bottles.
Well, if Khatam Shud could synthesize anti-stories, I should think that you'd accept we could synthesize things too. As for impossible, most people would say that everything that happened to you lately is quite impossible. Why make a fuss about this particular impossible thing?
Well, you said it could be a big wish, so it is. I come from a sad city, a city so sad that's forgotten its name. So I want you to provide a happy ending not only for my adventure, but for the whole sad city as well.
Happy endings must come at the end of something. If they come in the middle of a story or an adventure, all they do is cheer things up for a while.
I guess that'll do.
It's time to go home.
Only now did it occur to Haroun that Rushdie must have missed his storytelling appointment in K, and so no doubt an angry Sweetie Button would be waiting for them.
But, no problem. When you travel with But the Hoopoo, time is on your side. Leave late, arrive early. Let's go. Vavam.
Bye, darling.
I had such a strange dream. Oh my god, me too.
Hello, Mr. Rashid.
Oh Lord, now there'll be more screaming and shouting, and we'll have to pay our own bill.
Who? Some knowledge, Mr. Rashid. Is it that you and your son are still in your night shorts when I'm coming to fetch you for the show? Crowds are waiting. Tarry, Mr. Rashid. I trust you will not disappoint.
This is impossible. Your dream. Can you recall it?
Not now, Haroun. The Shah of Love is never late.
Haroun went to get dressed and noticed a golden envelope lying by his pillow. Inside the envelope was a note written by Blabbermouth and signed by all his friends from Moon Kahani.
What's this?
Come whenever you want.
Stay as long as you like.
Remember, when you travel with Bud the Hooper, time is on your side.
But inside the envelope, there was something else too. A bird, perfect in every single detail, cocking up its head at him. Of course, it was Hoopoe.
Recall that Mr. Bhattu and his unpopular government was expecting Rashid Khalifa to win them people's support by saying upbeat praising sagas.
And indeed, a large crowd had gathered to hear Rashid. But from his scowling expressions, Haroun could gather that they did not care for Snooty Bhattu at all.
You are on much praise, Mr. Rashid. You'd better be good, or else.
Ladies and gentlemen, the tale I'm going to tell today is Haroun and the Sea of Stories.
The gift of gab has returned, and Rashid had the audience right in the palm of his hand. So you didn't forget?
You'd think I'd forget a story like this one?
When you were talking about Khatam Shud and his henchmen from the Union of the Zip Lips, the whole audience said very hard at Snooty Bhattu and his henchmen who were sitting behind Rashid on stage. Then Rashid told the audience how almost all the Chupwalas hated their cult master Khatam Shud, but were afraid to say. A loud murmur of sympathy ran through the crowd, and after the two falls of two Khatam Shud, someone started a chant of Mr. Bhattu, and the entire audience joined in. Mr. Bhattu, go for good! Mr. Bhattu, Khatam Shud! Mr. Bhattu, go for good! Mr. Bhattu, Khatam Shud! Shut up! Keep quiet! Mr. Bhattu was never again seen in the Valley of K, and the people of the valley were free to choose the leaders they actually liked.
Of course we didn't get paid.
But, I will escort you home. Best you have been kept. Follow me.
His father's cheerfulness, simply unparalleled, and he blamed the warriors for all that, for everything was bad and wrong and fake in the whole wide motherless world. What What sweets and celebration should we have?
What's there to celebrate?
This week, personally, I've said good riddance to Mr. Sengupta, and I also have a job in the chocolate factory. And as many chocolates as I require are free to charge.
I'm happy for you, but in our life, it's not all songs and dances.
Maybe you've been away for too long. Things change.
Haroun! Ami!
Is this walrus's work too?
What walrus? I don't know any walrus, but I know I made a mistake. I went. I don't deny I went, but now, if you want, then I'm back. That's Sengupta. I swear. Such a skinny, scrolly, deviling, sticky, measly clock. As far as I'm concerned, he's finished with, done for, gone for, good. Khatam shud. That's right. I promise. Mr. Sengupta is Khatam shud. Welcome home!
When he went to bed, Haroun took up the miniaturized Badda Huppu from his little golden envelope and placed it in the palm of his left hand.
Please understand, it's good to know that you'll be here for me when I need it. But the way things are just now, I honestly don't need to go anywhere at all.
But, never mind.
He put the miniaturized Badda back in its little envelope, put the envelope under his pillow, put the pillow under his head, and fell asleep.
When he woke up, he saw new clothes laid out at his foot of his bed and a fully new operational clock telling the right time.
Huh? Presents? What's all this? More? 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 More?
Then he remembered that it was his birthday.
Happy birthday, Haroun! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Haroun! Happy birthday to you!
Outside in the living room, his mother had begun to sing again.
Little baby, don't you cry. Everything's gonna be alright. Sit and lie up the night. So yeah, everything is through the night. I know he's not here right now. I don't know why. What's gonna walking her?
Okay, now we shall have the curtain call, calling upon the army of Chup. The army of Gok. Khatam Shud, Mr. Sen Gupta, Goopy, Bagha, Mali, Unsmiling Men and Soldiers. Chorus. Handmaidens, General Kitab, Snooty Battu and Mr. Butt. Prince Bolo, Princess Bachi. Hupu, Mudra, Shadow, Onita and the Walrus. If, Egghead, Blabbermouth and Rashids. Soraya and the Haroun. Lastly, calling upon the teacher team and the directors as well.
Hello. Wow, that was a moving and outstanding performance, right? Let's give a huge round of applause for our performers. I would now request Anya to come on stage and introduce our esteemed chief guest.
Katie Bagli is one of Mumbai's best loved children's authors and a nature lover. Katie has specialized in microbiology and has completed correspondence courses in entomology and leadership in biodiversity and conservation of nature. She gives expression to her passion by writing for children. She has 27 titles to her credit so far, nearly all of which are on various subjects of nature. Some of the books written by her include On the Wild Side, The Insect Concert, Stories of Trees from India, A Wormy Tale, etc. She has published articles in several magazines like The Century Cub, Highlight Champs, the children's magazine, and is currently contributing articles on nature to the children's section Young World of the Hindu. She is writing a monthly column on nature in Robin Age, a children's magazine. Her books have been recommended for general reading in schools and also to college students of zoology. Katie enjoys conducting wildlife workshops and storytelling sessions in schools, colleges, and other institutions. She has also been invited by the Andhra Pradesh government to Vijayawada to conduct a session on Literacy Day for the differently abled children. Katie helps in organizing the children's section of Global Festival 100,000 Poets for Change each year. The children's play in this festival is written, directed, and produced by her. She is currently writing the scripts for creating e-modules on environment education as per NCERT curriculum for grades 7th, 8th, and 9th. Katie was awarded the prestigious Rex Karamveer Global Fellowship Award in 2019 for her constant
efforts to sensitize the young about issues that adversely affect our planet. She has also won 2 prizes in the children's book trust writing competition for children's writers in 2 different categories. Her books, The Mysterious Lovables, was a shortlisted for the International Board on Books for the Young People Award. Her recent book, The Flight of the Pink-Headed Ducks and Other Stories, got her long-listed as the Best Children's Award for JK Authors Awards, a joint venture by Times of India and JK Paper Limited. Very recently, she has been awarded a prize by CLR, Culture, Literature and Research for outstanding service in the field of literature in 2021. It has been it has indeed been an honor to have you with us today, ma'am. We would love to have you here once again, and thank you for your esteemed time and presence.
Thank you. I now invite our chief guest, Miss Katie Bagli, to say a few words.
A very good afternoon, my friends, my family. I consider Shishuwan as my family because I come here so often and for all kinds of things. So I feel greatly honored to be here once again, talking to all of you. So good afternoon, Miss Prachi, Miss Anam, the audience, the teachers, the backstage people, the team who did so much to make this grand play such a success, and the director of the play, the musicians, and of course the children involved. I was so overwhelmed. You know, I think, as far as I can see, I'm the only white-haired person here today in the hall, but I'm the youngest at heart, I feel. And I thoroughly enjoyed being taken for a ride into fantasy land through this wonderful story which was staged over here, Haroun and the Sea of Stories. Indeed, our sea, our ocean, is unimaginably beautiful. There are so many wonderful creatures in it. And this story has a secret message, you can say, to keep our oceans pristine and pure and unpolluted so that it continues to give us stories endlessly. And of course, the story written by Salman Rushdie, he has really used infinite amount of imagination, you know, like, and every successful story has emotions, and I could feel the emotions even today when the children enacted the play. Kudos to all of you. In fact, you could feel the emotion of sadness, the emotion of weirdness, the emotion of darkness. And I was thoroughly choked by the song of Hey Jude, when, you know, I could feel so much of emotion coming out. So that's the success of having acted this story. And I think it's a wonderful idea to enact your own literature textbook, because you are immersing yourself into the characters, you're learning the language, the enrichment of the language, and I think it's a learning for life, which Shishuwan School has, you know, helped you out with. So with that, I think I'll step down. Once again, kudos to all of you. Congratulations. And keep it up. Keep staging. And remember, life is nothing but a big, big, long play where darkness can be overcome by light, and shadows also, of course, have their own personalities, as shown over here in the play. And truth will always shine over darkness. Thank you.
Ma'am, please. I now invite Krishna to hand over a token of appreciation to our esteemed chief guest.
This show would not have been a success without the relentless efforts of our directors Sudeep, Vidhur, and Samruddhi. I would now like to invite Tanvi to introduce our director for the play.
Sudeep Modak is an actor, director, and theatre coach actively working in the field for the past 15 years. He has starred in various promote TV shows on Zee Marathi, Sony TV, and Zing TV. Some of them include Ek Lakshachi Goshta, Crime Patrol, etc. His role as Mahatma Jyotaro Pulhe in the show Garja Maharashtra was highly appreciated. His cameo in the short film Chubban is another feather in his cap, as the film received over 10 million views on YouTube. His directorial debut, which is another short film titled Cactus, was selected at several major short film platforms including the International Film Festival of India and Pocket Films. His directorial stage debut, Ek Shunya Teen, won him the nomination of the Best Director at Maharashtra State Awards. His recent appearance in a Netflix show, She, along with ad films for OLX, IDFC, Swiggy, Asian Paints, etc., has made him a well-recognized face on TV and other platforms. Sudeep started his company in 2017, through which he has been extensively working with schools and has directed plays for over 15 schools across India. Thank you.
I now invite Sudeep to say a few words.
This one? Okay. Hello, respected chief guest, principal ma'am, Anam, and all the audience, wonderful audience present here. Thank you so much for being here and encouraging the students with that fantastic response. Please, a big round of applause for the audience. This time, it was particularly challenging for us because the schedule we were presented with this time was just actual work of 3 weeks. We started in April with the introductory sessions and the casting, but there was a long break of 1 month in between for the holidays, wherein all that work we did in April sort of got muddied and washed out. So when we came back on 5th of June, it was literally just 3 weeks we had. And within those 3 weeks, I think Vidhur and Samruddhi, the directors of the play, please take a bow. You all have done a fantastic job in holding the play together, holding the team together. One thing that I noticed from the first day in terms of the students is that there is tremendous, so I have been working with Shishuvan for almost 8 years now. I've done more than 8 plays of different kinds with Shishuvan itself. What I've noticed with this particular batch is that the work culture and the discipline is of a different level. Even in rehearsals, they would be so disciplined. The teachers and the directors might disagree because the moment there's an audience, they are very attentive and very disciplined. With the teachers, of course, it's more of a informal relationship. But kudos to the children for having achieved this level of discipline. By discipline, I mean the little things, like in the blackouts, you wouldn't hear the props being placed on stage. It would be done in maximum silence. During the entries and the exits, they would maintain silence. There are 144 kids on stage, but it doesn't feel like that purely because of the work culture and discipline that is instilled in them. So very well done on that. one more thing that I have noticed, which is very new, and the credit goes to the directors and the teachers as well, but the physical comfort with each other, irrespective of whether it's a boy or a girl. This is a challenge in school plays that we face so many times. Trust me, they are extremely uncomfortable. We have to cut out the moments where there is either hugging or holding hands. But these kids, as you realize that it was very important to this play for the prince and the princess to sort of come together, and there was an applause from the audience. So I think that's very, very important to be comfortable, to reach a level of camaraderie and friendship where it doesn't matter whether you're holding hands or you're making the other person comfortable. So that's another very, very important achievement. So kudos on that too. And just a couple of more points that I want to make. One is such a successful and visual treat and the work culture that I spoke about wouldn't be possible if their teachers hadn't put in that kind of effort. So a big, big round of applause for the teachers as well. Very well done. And thank you, Anam, for coordinating this so beautifully. And last but not the least, Miss Prachi, the principal of this school, I think this tradition in Shishuvan of having one separate play for every grade. So literally the theatre is booked for 9 days of the year, 18 days of the year, because there's one grand rehearsal and 9 days of shows in the year. This is so unique that I have been working across India. I've done plays in Delhi schools, in Gujarat schools, in Himachal schools, but I have not seen this culture anywhere apart from Shishuvan only. So big, big congratulations to Prachi for having kept this alive. On that note, I would like to take your leave. Again, very, very well done, children. Thank you so much.
I would now like to invite Rachayita to hand over a token of appreciation for our director.
I now invite Arnav and Dhwaj to introduce our directors Vidhur and Samruddhi.
Vidhur Khullar is a vibrant, versatile, Mumbai-based actor and theatre maker whose passion for performing arts shines through his work. Born and raised in New Delhi, he completed his bachelor's from Delhi University. He always had a creative spark, which ignited when he joined the theatre group in college. From there, Vidhur has never looked back, and his career has been filled of variety of notable achievements. He has appeared in over 8 theatre productions, of which the production Ashwa, an Indian adaptation of the French play Rhinoceros, which has bagged several awards, including for the Best Ensemble and Design. He has also been a part of various Nukkad Natak and mime productions, all of which showcase his skill in the versatility in the field. Has also been a part of the play titled Butter and Mashed Banana, written by Ajay Krishnan and mentored by Chanakya Vyas. He has also served as an assistant director in 2 short films. Thank you.
Samruddhi Deshpande has been working in the field of theatre since 2016. She has taken lead roles in over 10 productions, earning recognition for exceptional performances. Graduating from Drama School Mumbai, she has even ventured in the realm of voiceover artistry and worked in various short films as well. She has also co-founded Coach Production, which is a dynamic theatre production company. Thank you.
I would now like to invite Ruad and Sayyam to hand over a token of appreciation to Vidhur and Samruddhi. We will now propose the vote of thanks. We surely hope that you enjoyed the performance that we have staged today. I thank our honorable chief guest for the day for gracing the occasion. I thank the members of the managing committee of the Sri Hirji Bojraj and Sons KVO Jain Chhatralaya and the leadership team of Shishuvan for their support and encouragement. I extend a warm gratitude to our teachers, support staff, and parents for making this a successful event. A special thanks to the prop department, dance, and backdrop team for the commendable contribution.
We would also like to thank the management and staff of the Mysore Auditorium for their hospitality and wonderful lights. Thank you. Please stand for the national anthem.